Hey everyone, Patrice is here and today I'm bringing back my You're Using It Wrong series, but this time it will be for Borderlands 3. I will try to cover every single character in this series. One thing that I would like to say immediately is that there's quite few builds for every single Vault Hunter out there, and my title is incorrect, since there's a few builds from the start. But hey, that's how my series got popular, so I'll keep this title that I totally came up with myself and didn't copy another YouTuber. Moving on, today I would like to talk about Beastmaster crit build. I will leave all the timestamps down below so you can skip to the parts you need as always. Number 1. Skills. I tried many ways to make this build better, but every time I wouldn't have enough points. So at this point I'm pretty damn sure that this is as good as it gets. If you would have extra 2 more points, then this build would be 15% stronger, but unfortunately I couldn't sacrifice anything else. So obviously for the crit build we are going with the Stalker tree as our main, since of the action skill. Feel free to pause this video and copy everything. Our sub-tree is the Hunter skill tree, and we put only 3 points into the blue tree. At this point you can put 2 points out of the blue tree to the red one just so you can get that sweet 15% crit, but I honestly think that it's not worth it, since with 45% extra action skill time and 12% gun damage we are better off and will pull off more this way. If you play alone and notice yourself die often, you could also sacrifice 1 point to the lick the wounds. But on Mayhem 3 your pet will die immediately anyway, so that's not the best use either. Now there's few things I would like to mention that have to be kept in order to get the most damage possible. Because of the final skill, the power inside the passive gives you a lot more damage, but it doubles if you have full health. This is super important since those 25% add a buckload of damage. So you have to make sure to activate the action skill before you get hit, so just before the fight begins. It has an animation of going into the fadeaway, so you wouldn't be able to shoot for like a second anyways, so we are not wasting anything, just keeping ourselves safe for that extra 25%. So if you're in the middle of a fight and notice that you are on 99% out of 100 of health, wait before you activate the skill and just run around. With this build you regenerate health by running, so getting to 100% won't take long, and only then activate the skill, so you get that 25% double. Or if you have an item that will give you your health back, such as like a grenade or maybe, I don't know, something that you need to melee and then you get health back, then use that. Similar thing goes to the other skill called Fast and Furious, since it gives buffs only when your health bar is higher than half. And then there's also overclocked ability. You want to shoot once and reload your weapon just before you activate the action skill for that extra 10% fire rate. Because of the skill called Turn the Tail and Run, you want to keep yourself stationary as long as possible. So move only if you have to and going to die otherwise, since this adds extra 25% gun damage and 12% fire rate. Alright, that's pretty much it for the skills. Just to sum it up, I'll say this: for most damage, first shoot once and reload, second use fade away on full health, and third stand still if possible. Number 2. Weapons. Now moving on to preferable weapons. Well, you probably already guessed it. Anything that ricochets with a crit and returns ammo to your magazine is a win. Especially good ones currently are King's Call or Queen's Call, or any other call you can find really, for example Rowan's Call. The only problem with King's and Queen's Call is that if you shoot at the boss who is too far away and you shoot 2 bullets out before they reach the target, then you start to reload, even that when the shots do actually reach the target, the animation still already started and you waste your time. So you have to be pretty close enough to not trigger the animation. Also, if you are fighting someone like Troy and you aren't called Shroud, then it will be pretty hard to constantly land hits. And you only got 2 shots, so if you miss them you lose time on reloading animation again. For that case you can always use Rowan's Call. It has 20 bullets in the mag, so it's way more forgiving. But if the boss is stationary or a really big target, then I would recommend Kings or Queens, since they deal a lot more damage. In my inventory as of now I have 2 Kings, one for shock damage and another one for fire, and I'm planning on to get diversified as much as I can, so I can switch out guns for different bosses. Just little tip here, King's Call comes with incendiary, shock and corrosive, whilst the Queen's Call comes with cryo, radiation and corrosive. But rather than that they are pretty much the same. I'm planning on having 5 of those pistols for every element. Also try to get them with 0 damage debuff, since some of them come with minus 30% or more damage and you don't want that. For each weapon I will make a separate guide on how to get them, but for now you will have to farm Tyrene for best chances of getting kings and queens. And as for Roman Skull, it's usually found in the chests or random boss drops, so when you kill Tyrene you wanna go into the vault and open those 4 chests, or you wanna farm the end mission and try to like keep looking for teams that still haven't done the end mission because of the Lilith chest. Now you can also use weapons that don't have ricochets or bring ammo back. With the skill Leave No Trace you will get 36% chance to get bullets back into your mag anyways. You can have even more if you find a mod that improves on this skill, but of course that's more of a luck based. For example, I use shotgun called the Butcher, and it doesn't have any Jacob's buffs, but it's super rapid and I have never actually shot less than 11 shots from it. Keep in mind the magazine size is 10, and usually I will shoot it for the entire active skill duration and sometimes reload once, if very unlucky then twice. Like yes, that's bad, but then after reloading I get 10% fire rate, so it's not as harmful. Basically, you can still use those weapons. Then there's also a 1-pump chump shotgun, which has only 1 bullet, but it has 50% of not using it. Together with your skill that percentage becomes 86. I think you can bring it even closer if you get a mod, as I've said before. So it's also pretty decent, especially if you can roll it with crit damage, since the weapon actually has like 1000% extra damage on top of it. As of now that's the 3 main weapons I use, but I will make a guide for the best weapons for Beastmaster later. Just didn't actually try everything out yet. If you have any other weapons, please let me know down in the comments below on where you found them and what they do. As for now, I know there's other good weapons that are not Jacobs and have same buffs with ricochet and ammo back, but I personally didn't find them yet, just seen them in other videos and articles. As for Guardian rank that you reach at the end, I would recommend to think about other Vault Hunters you might have. Personally though, I went with the crit damage, gun damage and gun fire rate. And if none of those were available, I would go for action skill cooldown. And if that wasn't available as well, then I would go to recoil reduction or accuracy. But as of now, I mostly have 27 points in Enforcer and 11 in the Hunter. I've only put those since I couldn't do the crit, gun damage or fire rate. Number 3. Item setup. This one's going to be even more RNG based since it's pretty hard to get lucky. But let's start with the shield. Currently I don't have a good shield, but I would recommend you to get as much as you can on either crit damage or action skill cooldown if that's possible. If not, then a lot of shield is pretty decent since you are very squishy with this build and you will need to keep 100% health for that extra damage. So in this case I'm using Recharger. It has almost 10k and it starts recharging straight after it gets broken, so that saves me from being wiped out. Moving on to class mode. There's a lot of mods and it's super hard to find a mod that would have everything. I have a mod that gives extra 35% damage on all Jacob's weapons, so that's insanely good for my build. But it doesn't give me the best skill buffs, nor it's a good level now. And it's purple. But I found another mod from the second Vault monster which gives extra skill buffs. In this case I have 3% chance to activate of any of my kill skills on a shot. This is an amazing add-on to every boss fight, since a boss fight you usually don't have much kill skill stacks built up. But this way, the more shots I land, the more stacks I get by not even killing anyone. And another one is that bosses are treated as human, beasts or robots. It gives me also 23% Hyperion damage, which is good for the Butcher shotgun, but it isn't the best. As I've said, I got this from the second Vault monster, which is on the Eden 6, you can try and farm there for yourself. Mainly you want anything that will boost your build, so any skill that going to crit or cooldown or damage in general. Preferably Stalker or Hunter skill tree. And you want the weapon boost that you use. In my case I need Jacob mainly and Hyperion secondary. This one will probably take a while to farm, but when I get a good drop I'll update you on my channel, on where and how I found it. Moving on to the artifact. Currently I'm using a splatter gun. I have few other artifacts that I sometimes exchange, but this one is my main right now since of the 50% boost on my Butcher shotgun which shreds. 21% ignite which also adds on to the Butcher and one of my King's Skull, and 17% cooldown on action skill. This could have been better, it could have been 20%. As I've said, it's probably best to have multiple artifacts for everything. For example, I have another one that gives 10 luck, which is amazing for farming, and I will try to farm out a better one and update you in the future for it. I would recommend anything for Jacob's weapons, cooldown, crit chance or gun damage, if possible. I think you'll have to farm for a while to get good ones. For now, just carry few ones and change them up when you fight different bosses. And last but not least, grenades. Don't think grenades matter as much. I personally use right now ahrd Hex, which burns all enemies really effectively. Dropped from Aurelia, or as she calls herself, Rich Bitch. If I die too much, I use Transfusion Tracker. It heals for 120 health of damage dealt and 30% shield of damage dealt, which makes me pretty beefy and goes with my build. So if I have less than 100% health, I throw it and activate the skill when I reach 100% health. Pretty useful tanky grenade, but I only use it if I can't handle otherwise. It was dropped from Troy, but I'm pretty sure it can be found in chests, just like most other items I've listed. Number 4. Pros and cons. Let's start off with pros. Probably has the strongest DPS output in the game, the best crit Vault Hunter in the game. Can easily wipe a lot of enemies if used with Ricochet. After level 40 destroys bosses like piece of cake. Has a pet that adds on tankiness to him since a lot of times enemies fight the pet. Really fun to play and looks badass. Voiced by an amazing actor and YouTuber known as ProZD. I'm a big fan. And now moving on to cons. Pretty weak early game and up to level 40 is kinda slowish. Very squishy and dies instantly if tickled. Harder to fight smaller targets and you have to constantly do crits for your skill to go on cooldown as fast as possible. Everyone plays him right now. On Mayhem 3, Pet dies almost instantly, so he's pretty much useless. Have to actually aim, unlike with Zane where I just dropped my skills and let them do their job. Quite few things to look after to pull off the most damage, such as reloading or standing still or looking after your health before using your action skill. And that's all I can think of right now. Number 5. Conclusion. I have Zane, who's level 50 as well, and who was my first Vault Hunter. But I switched to Beastmaster after I've seen how strong he is, so I'm going to say it. I think Beastmaster is pretty OP and will most likely receive a nerf, at least a little one. Just hands down he's very strong, but of course other classes can also be made strong. I've seen a Mara that shreds on Mayhem 3 with no challenge at all and being super tanky whilst doing it as well. So I don't think he's super broken, but if he does receive some little nerf, I wouldn't be hating. Just like all of you, I am human and the game is just recently came out, so yes, I might have made mistakes or missed something. So please help me out and others by commenting tips and tricks that you know or anything I missed down below. Thank you for it in advance. And here's the end of the video. Sorry guys for not posting this type of content for a long time and not updating these series, but I will try to do my best now. Don't forget to like and subscribe and I will see you in the next video. Or in the game. Bye.